So Elon Musk posted on X yesterday that there will be no more poverty in the future, and there's no need to save any of your money. This is the richest man in America telling you to not save your money. He has all the money ever, and he's telling you, who might be struggling to pay rent or pay your bills, to not save your money. He said there will be universal high income in the future. He was responding to Ray Dalio, who had just announced a $70 million pledge to help fund savings accounts for newborns under a new Trump admin program. So this is the best part. He called it a nice gesture. It's a nice gesture. Hey, thanks for the $70 million, right, for these kids. And he's also saying you don't need to save your money, though. But he said it's unnecessary because AI and robots will eliminate poverty entirely. Now, he's telling this to people right now, and AI and robotics are not even close to a place where they can replace everybody's jobs. Now, the same week, Elon Musk told XAI staff that artificial general intelligence could arrive by 2026. He also said that in 2024, AGI would happen in 2025, which we know that's not going to happen because we have, 10 days left in 2025. It's not here yet. How far away is it? He said it's possibly 2026. So he's the richest person ever in the world right now on record. And of course, we know there's like some Saudi princes that might have more money than him. And he said that there's other people like Putin who has more money than him. But he's the person that has the most money on record. And he's promising a post-scarcity future that never arrives on schedule. Think of this. The richest person alive telling you to not save, just don't worry about it. He's basically telling you don't worry about it when he has everything and anything he'll ever need. All right, so why doesn't he give his money to anybody that needs it? He has almost $1 trillion soon. And if he just takes a little chunk and he gives it to people, it would probably help them out. Could help those kids out too. Right? He's been making these predictions for years. It always shifts. And we all know this. Full self-driving, 2 years away, 2 months away. Hey, we're going to get it next year. Okay. So we're going to cover some things today. And like he frustrates me, right? Because he has everything. And I'm not one of those people that bashes on rich people. I don't care how much money you have. But if you're going to sit there and tell people, don't worry about it, don't save your money for the future, because guess what? It's going to be utopia in a few years, man. The robots are going to do everything for you. I think he's full of it as far as that's concerned. He's a brilliant engineer and a brilliant business person. I give you that. But we're going to cover some stuff today that he actually said about universal high income, not universal basic income. They're completely different things. Universal high income means that you're going to have a lot of money. And that's because the robots are going to do everything. And AGI is going to be able to do these jobs that you don't want to do. So what else are you going to do? You're just going to hang out. They're just going to give you money, right? Why would somebody just give you money? That's not how capitalism works. You're in America. They're not going to give you money. He's never given you money. Why would they start giving you money now when they've never given you money in the past? Think critically. Okay, so I'm kind of going off on a little tangent here, but think about it. Think logically. Why would they give you money in the future if they don't give you money now, if they have a lot of money now? Right? He has hundreds of billions of dollars and he's not giving you a penny now. Why would he give you money in the future? And don't tell me that it's because he needs all that money to build the robots. So in the future, he will give you money. That's not what's going to happen, okay? Okay, so we're going to talk about some AGI and why his predictions keep slipping, and if he's going to do this, if he's actually going to do this. And there's some reasons why he should. There's some reasons why he shouldn't. There's reasons why he will never give you money. There's reasons why maybe he could. Maybe you could get some money from the guy. I don't know. Maybe it's in the future he's going to give you some money. Call him out on it. Call him out on X. Call him out on his platform because he should be able to give you money now, right? It came in response to Ray Dalio's announcement on X. Dalio, who is the founder of Bridgewater Associates, said he and his wife, Barbara, would contribute $250 into savings accounts for roughly 300,000 children in Connecticut. Put some money into savings for these kids. Sounds like a great thing to do, right? The accounts are part of a pilot program called Trump Accounts, created by the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. The Triple B, each account starts with a $1,000 government contribution for children born between January 25th and December 2028. Michael and Susan Dell had already pledged $6.25 billion towards the same program. Now, Elon Musk's response dismissed the entire premise of this. He wrote, and I quote, "It is certainly a nice gesture of the Dells, but there will be no poverty in the future, and so no need to save money. There will be universal high income." That's a beautiful idea. I think that would be wonderful if nobody ever had to work again. We've never seen that happen. Through all the times in human history when people have been building societies that keep getting better and better and better and better. It's never happened before. No one's ever given everybody free money. No one's ever given anybody or given everybody everything they ever wanted. So universal high income, let's talk about that a little bit, is not the same as universal basic income, which would mean everybody just gets a bunch of money all the time. Musk has been explicit about the difference. He talked about it at Viva Tech conference in Paris last year. He said the most likely outcome of AI development is that none of us will have jobs. What if you like your job, though? That'd be nice. And he says it's not because of massive unemployment, but because AI and robotics will handle all productive tasks. So anybody that is in the way of AI or robotics that loses their job, he says it's not going to be because of the mass unemployment why we're not going to have jobs. So the robots are going to take the jobs, then the money from the robots will go to the people. He said there's going to be no shortage of goods and services as well, and everyone will have high income, not just enough to survive. So he's saying some things that are just super wild right here. And it doesn't matter what side you're on. It doesn't matter how much money you make. No one will ever give you all the money that you need, ever. So take this all with a grain of salt. I'm not trying to be a downer here either. I just want you to know that. Elon said, in the future where anybody can have anything, money it becomes unnecessary. If AI and robotics can satisfy all human needs, money is no longer required as a system for allocating labor. He suggests that over the long term, work would function like a hobby in the past too. If you want to do a job, sure, go ahead, do a job. But the robots will provide whatever you need regardless. Like, I think it would be really cool if this actually worked. If I never had to work again, if I could just go to the beach and hang out, if I could just travel the world and hang out with a bunch of different people, that would be wonderful. How many robots would we need? And somebody's got to do the math. Leave it in the comments if you've done the math of this. How many robots would we actually need to replace every person and then make enough money in order to pay every person a living wage? And not just living wage, but like high living wage. And what are the economics of what is a high living wage at that point? What is a high living wage at that point? I'm not sure. So if you're making like $100,000 a year, you're doing okay. In the US, you're doing all right. But if you're making $300,000 a year, doing great. You know, you're making a lot of money. You're doing a good job. If you're making $1 million a year, nothing to worry about. You do that for the rest of your life. Maybe that's what it is. But does he have control of all the money? Does he have control of all the resources? Think about that too. Critically think about this. Does he have all the control of all of the money that goes to you? Would you trust one person and one company with all of your money and all of your resources? They could just cut it off. I'm just saying, man, it's a hard thing for me to fathom. And I want to know your take on it. Because it seems kind of crazy. And another crazy thing is that I've been going through the analytics of the show here, and I noticed that about 37% of you are following this channel. So I want to say thank you for that. And there's about 63% of you that haven't followed or subscribed to the show yet. And I've been doing independent journalism around Elon Musk's sphere for 6-7 years now, probably more than that, because I had the podcast before that. And I'm going to give you the next 10 years of my life doing this kind of content. But all I want from you is literally 1 second of your time. Hit the subscribe or follow button on whatever platform you're on right now. We're going to build this community together. And that's it. Thanks so much. I'm extremely grateful for that. Now let's keep going. The AI prediction fits into this same, the AGI prediction fits into the same framework here. Artificial general intelligence. So let's do a quick definition of that. So if you're not familiar with that, AGI would mean AI that can match or exceed our brains. So what we do right now, how we think, how we operate, how we work, AI can take that over. Not narrow AI like a chat bot, not like ChatGPT where you ask it a question, it gives you an answer, but it'll reason and it'll make decisions on that reasoning. It'll be like us. It doesn't just write marketing copy. It can reason, learn, and adapt to the way that we do things. Some people define it as a form of sort of like self-awareness. So that's when they're saying like AGI is alive. You've probably heard that, or like this AI is alive. It's the thinking that it's AGI, right? So others define it as AI that can perform any intellectual task that a human can. There's no single definition though. So AGI is like, it thinks like us, you know? So in May of 2024, Elon has said, somebody asked Elon on X how long it would take until AGI happens. 2024, he said next year. That would have been this year, 2025. We're now in December of 2025. AGI isn't anywhere close to here. And this week, Musk told XAI staff that AGI could be achieved within the next couple of years, maybe as soon as 2026. And so he pushed it back a year. Remember when he did this with Starship and he pushed it back? And I know there's environmental stuff and I know there's like FAA stuff, but still the rocket wasn't ready, even though the FAA stuff was happening. You have to look back at it critically. They weren't ready to fly that thing. They weren't even close. But when they did fly it, did a good job. You know, it took them a little while to get it right, but it was the first few attempts. It took them a little while. So Musk has a very distinct pattern of predictions that don't fit the schedule that he says they do. In October, he told Joe Rogan that he would demonstrate a flying car by the end of this year. We have 12 more days till the end of this year. Elon, we want a flying car. Make this true. Make this work, right? FSD, full self-driving, has been promised as fully autonomous for years. Back in 2019, Elon said that we would have 1 million robotaxis on the road working by 2020. Not even close to that now. We have a few robotaxis in Austin, Texas that are they have no people in them. You could say that's because of regulations. It's not. It's because they were not like they haven't built it yet. But this is the reason why he does this. It's for attention and it's to drum up investment, right? It's not because of the results. It's because if he hypes this up enough and people believe him, people will gather around and you can sway people very easily on social media. So in 2019, he said 1 million robotaxis in 2020. Not even close to 1 million robotaxis in 2020. Not even there's none. There were 0 in 2020 by Tesla, right? And now it's 2025 going on 2026, barely, a handful. But he does this because he likes to boost up the stock, right? So then he makes more money and his companies make more money and then he gets more rich and more powerful. He can buy his way into politics and et cetera. Make more money, make more products. And then also you sell those products to your other companies. Tesla has sold stuff to SpaceX. XAI works with SpaceX and Tesla and X. So all these companies work together to generate money for each other, but also taking investor money because he keeps drumming up this business, these investors, because of these promises that he never come to fruition when he says, right? So it's Elon time. That's what we call it. So there's a business reason for this. XAI is raising $20 billion and $30 billion per year in funding, $30 billion a year. company didn't confirm that number, though. It's due to a report on Business Insider. And I've actually reached out to them. They said they don't respond to media unless you're part of their crew. And the perpetual promise of AGI helps drive investment in AI technology. And this technology right now, AI technology, is propping up a huge portion of the US economy right now. And Musk's predictions about the end of poverty and the arrival of AGI are all connected together. Both depend on AI and robotics, which Elon's building, and that they advance to a point where they can replace human labor across virtually all tasks. So not just warehouses and construction yards, things like that, but it's everything, right? AI takes coders' jobs already. And if you know how to prompt, you are a better coder now than a coder was 5 years ago. You can prompt something, like I could prompt something and build a full enterprise software suite in a week, when it would take a team of 50 people like 10 years ago to do the same thing. You know, it would be, and that wouldn't even be a week. That would be like 6 months to do that or something. It would be crazy. I was in the software business for the longest time. I was a coder. In my perspective from doing this for so long, I know what AI can do. It can just destroy economies. It can destroy people's lives and rip apart their work and their money, right? So when AI started happening, developers at the big FANG companies just got laid off. They were cut loose because AI can do a lot of their jobs. So Elon's companies, they depend on AGI. Robotics, it's like there's so much intertwined with Elon's companies, like I said before. If this works out the way that Elon wants, there's about 300 million jobs that are on the line due to the automation from AGI and robotics. 300 million jobs, 300 million Optimus robots, 300 million XAI prompts. You know, they're vulnerable to that. They're not going to be replaced right away, but it'll take a lot of time. 300 million people could lose their jobs. It's not the same as living in a post-scarcity world where no one needs money. Because if 300 million people lose their jobs, even over 10 years, that's incredible amounts of people losing their jobs. And how do you generate money? Why would you generate money with these robots? How are they going to tax them? Like there's going to be a whole system. There's got to be whole systems for that. And my skepticism is worth noting here. When the richest person on the planet, he's over $600 billion now, tells everyone else not to bother saving money, people notice the gap between his position, which is way up here, out of the frame, and then yours, which is a normal person. On X, people pointed out that Musk's advice might be easier to follow if you already have generational wealth. He had some money coming into it, even though he has said in so many interviews that like I had nothing when he came to the US. Yeah, sure. He didn't have as much as some people, but he had a lot coming in here. He had some money. His family had some money. And the universal high income theory sounds different coming from someone like him who will be completely fine no matter what happens. Like if like all of his companies went under, he could do a fire sale and make $1 billion real quick, and he's fine forever, right? But in the past, he said it could be painful. He said there will be much trauma and disruption along the way. Henry Ford said this too, by the way. So when Henry Ford was automating vehicle building, when he was building the car assembly line, he said, and I don't have the exact quote, but he basically said, someday automation will take over everybody's jobs. And Henry Ford also said, we need some sort of universal basic income at some point. Like, we're going to have to pay you people something somehow. Like, you're going to have to exist somehow. So he wasn't a jerk about it. He just said, like, we got to pay you because we got to keep you around, I guess, right? So rapid automation could send millions of people into unemployment before all the money arrives, all the abundance arrives, right? Because you have to like displace those people. You got to get rid of them before you put the robots in. Then what do those people do before these robots start making money for everybody? But it's not economic all the way. It's also existential in a way, because if robots can do what you do better than you, what are you? What's your meaning? What are you supposed to do with your life? If somebody puts a robot in your place and they can be a better you, who are you? What are you? All bets are off at that point. And then, of course, there's going to be an uprising. And what do the robots do? Is there going to be a robot fight against people? People are going to go wild. If 300 million people start losing their jobs, the people in power are not going to have much power. People will respond to that in a very aggressive way, I'm sure. And AGI keeps moving along, right? Sam Altman has said it numerous times, we're just a few years away from AGI. He said this, a few years ago. Yeah, just 2025, I think we're going to have it. You know what, Sam, you're wrong. But also, I want this. I want AGI. I mean, I love technology. I think it's great. And AGI, if it can do jobs better than humans and give us money as well, let me go on vacation for the rest of my life, I'm down. I'm 100% down with that. I think that would be great. But the timeline of universal high income is completely undefined. We don't know what this timeline is. Elon Musk keeps making predictions that he makes predictions to generate headlines and money. He makes those predictions so he can get investments. And when the deadlines pass, he sets new predictions and new headlines, because he's like the guy in the corner with the big sign that says the rapture is coming, Tuesday, repent now. Maybe repent now, and that's cool. But Tuesday comes around and the rapture never happened. What do you do then? Oh, no, I meant not this Tuesday. I meant a Tuesday, next Tuesday. So that same person can go on the street again and get more people to donate to them. It's a cycle, right? They keep doing it repeatedly, and they keep changing the goalposts because they were wrong and they don't want to admit it. Sometimes Elon's good about that, though. He's probably I was wrong a little bit. But, the richest guy in the world telling you that you won't have to work in the future, take it with a grain of salt. Keep saving your money. Be responsible. This isn't going to happen overnight. You still need a job. You still need to take care of yourself and your family. Do not fall for this. I have confidence in this technology. I think it will eventually happen, but it might take a decade, maybe 20, 30 years for all of this to work out. So if you're 30 years old now, and if 30 years from now, AGI and robots take over, you're going to be 60. You're going to be almost ready for retirement anyway. So save your money. You're going to need it. If you're 10 right now, why are you watching this show? For one, I'm happy you're here, but you should be watching. You should be watching something that's not about economics and Elon Musk. You should be watching Bluey. Probably not Bluey. Something else more fun. But if you're, then in 30 years, it'd be 40. So you still need to save your money. If you're 10, save your allowance. But if it's going to be 10 years from now, still save your money. Take that money, invest it, do proper things with it, and eventually it'll pay off. But Elon's AGI dream, Sam Altman's AGI dream, all these people hyping it up, they're just boosting it up so they can get more money in their company. They're capitalists. They're making money. That's why they keep saying these things. We're right around the corner from AGI. We don't know if they are. Nobody knows. They don't actually tell us. There's no line where they are. Where are they? And AGI, they don't tell you up front because one, probably they don't want their competitors to know how far they are. But if they are really far ahead, that's great. Tell your competitors, scare them away. But if you're not, it's a little secret, right? They don't need to tell you. And it's not like there's global elites that are trying to take over everything. It's just that it's sneaky business to do that. Where are we? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. They're not going to tell you either. So we can make all the assumptions that we want, but are we 2 years away or are we 20 years away? Literally nobody knows. So I want to say thanks for watching or listening today, whatever podcast or video platform you're on right now. Please take a second and hit the follow or subscribe button, and also leave a comment. What do you think about all this stuff? I think it's crazy. There's just too much going on. And I think Elon should just give us all money and we'd all be rich. We'd win. All right. Take care, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.